David here from Out&Back Off-Road. Today we're doing a bit of driveway work on the Control Ute, Jen's Ute, and here we have a kit from Airbag Man. Now this kit is pretty much ready to go as is. Comes with everything you need, instruction manual. It's a pretty easy DIY setup. Today we're going to have a crack. A couple of things we've got to cover off first is safety. Safety is paramount. So you'll see that we've got the stands underneath, tyres underneath, anything that can potentially help us if the vehicle's to fall. We've chocked the front wheels, that's all good to go. So we've already disconnected the shock absorber, sway bar and everything, so we're ready to start. So guys, in the box here, we've got our instruction manual. It's also got all our product information, all your pressures, everything you need to know to run it. So we're going to be following that one today. We've also got all our push connect fittings. Now, this makes it really easy to fit. It's really good, real fast, simple, just go straight in. The other thing we've got here is our protector sleeves. So these sleeves allow us to double the pressure, and they also offer extra protection when off-road, sticks, rocks, all that kind of stuff that you're going to encounter when you're in the bush. These are unique to Airbag Man, so no one else is using something like this. Now here we have the bag itself. So this bag has a lifetime warranty. It's made by Firestone, pretty tough as it is, and you add those extra sleeves over the top and you're ready to rock. The last thing we've got here is your pre-assembled tubing covered in conduit. Once again, protects it off-road, makes it nice and tough. You're never going to have a drama. Alright, so we've dropped the back axle down, and now we've pulled these coils out. So the next step is to start assembling our bags, ready to go in. So what we've done is we've cut our hose into two lengths. So I've got one here, and I've also installed the sleeve to the bag. So now from here we're going to insert the hose into the bag and start getting ready to install it into the vehicle. It's as simple as literally just getting it, slide that conduit back a bit out of the way and just pushing it in. And once that's in, that'll be nice and tight in there and secured, and it won't come out until we actually release that fitting. So as you can see, it's in there now, and it doesn't matter how hard I pull on that, it's not coming out, like I said, until I release that fitting. So in your kit you would have got two of these little red plugs, and what they allow us to do is make it a hell of a lot easier to actually get this bag in the coil. So I'm going to try to push all the air out. Once we've got that air out, slot that little red plug into there. When I remove pressure, it's all good, she doesn't go anywhere, so it keeps it nice and flat, nice and compressed. Press now, fold this over. So our bag's in the coil now. So what I'm going to do is pull this plug back out, put the air back in there, make sure it all seats in nicely so nothing's going to get pinched or anything in the coil once we've got it installed. So now we've got the other end of our hose, and in preparation to put that coil back in, we're just going to feed that up nice and out of the way, run that through. And what we're going to do is I'm going to start to run it towards the back there, down the chassis rail, so then when everything's back in, then we can cut it to the length that we need, install it into those valves at the back. That one's nice and straight, ready to go in. Once we drop the weight back down, we'll line the coil, should be good to go. So we've got our coils in, everything's installed nice and firm there, seated up, double check that always. Connected back our shocks, sway bar, just got to tighten all that up, and then we're going to finish routing all the air lines to the back. So now we're just going to finish running the air lines to the back. The kit does come with cable ties and everything you need. So it's pretty straightforward. Obviously this stuff, just make sure it's out of the way. It's not going to get in between any pinch points. It's not going to rub on anything, stuff like that. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to pull the airline back from the conduit a little bit and feed it through these holes that we've drilled here in our trailer plug. So make sure when you mount this, you just get somewhere, like you don't want it underneath or anywhere that it could get caught, ripped, torn off, especially off-road. That stuff doesn't last long. So I've fed that through my holes, worked out exactly how long it's going to need to be. And I'm going to go cut it, trim it off. And one thing you need to be very careful of when you trim it is if you just use a pair of pliers or scissors or something, what will happen is you'll actually crimp that end and flatten it. You can actually see where I cut it when I cut this line in half before, that it actually crimped it down. And what that means is when you put it into that push fitting, it's not going to get the correct seal, and it will leak air, and it just means you're going to have to fix it. So do it right the first time. You can use a Stanley knife, be very gentle with it, obviously work it around, don't just push on it in one spot. You can actually get proper pipe cutters and stuff like that. Unfortunately we don't have one here today, so we'll just use a Stanley knife. So now all that's left to do is just once again install our push fittings. And just before I do, I will just mention something I've sort of learned over the years is stuff like this. So these little offcuts here of airline, it's always worth keeping stuff like this. Chuck it in your spares kit, and you can actually pick up a couple of spare push fittings and joiners and stuff like that. So if you rip a line in the middle, you can either just join it up. If you've got to extend it, you can. Same as like your air lockers and stuff. Always good to have spare stuff like this for those trackside repairs. So what we're going to do now is we're going to take our little fitting there, push it through, got our washer on the back, chuck another washer on the front, and then we've just got our nut there. Grab that one. And once we're done here, we will put a spanner on that, make sure it's nice and tight and firm. Do the other side, and we're ready to put some air in it. Good to go. So now the final step is to put a bit of air in it. And so what we want to do is you want at least a minimum pressure of 5 psi. Anything less, you do risk the potential to tear one of the bags if it gets pinched in the coil. Maximum pressure, if you don't have the sleeves on, is going to be 30 psi, and if you do, you can go all the way up to 60 psi. Well guys, that's it for the airbag install on our patrol ute here. Tell you what, it was nowhere near as hard as I ever thought it was going to be. If I can do it, there's a pretty good chance that you guys can do it too. Just remember, if you are going to have an attempt at this, always remember to be safe as possible. Chop your wheels, get your stands under the car, don't just rely on the jack. I'm pretty excited to get this thing off-road now, get it all loaded up again like we do. Now that we've got that extra support, this thing will drive so much better than what it ever did. Thanks guys.